Okay, boys, we have to learn HTML. So let's get started with that one. Okay, where was I? I think. Right, attribute value. Yes, I know, adding an image, source, and an alt. Alt is its name, embedded. Yeah, okay. Then, right, marking up. Headings should be, they should syntactically, they should make a horizontal rule. List, unordered, ordered, and description with data values. DD, description. Sorry, DT was a term and DD was its description. Right, DT, the term, description. Okay, more content, low code, block quote. Quotation should be put in a block quote. Okay, pre-formatted, yes, pre-formatted test for code example and all. Pre. Okay, so college? No. Practice. Okay, if I should include this in a figure tag because a figure is used for these things. So if I update it, oh, okay, let me just close all to the left, right. Now if I don't think it will make a difference if I update it. Yeah, it's just figure, right? Okay, and I can decrease or increase the size of it depending on the tag. Then figure, yeah, figure element, pre-formatted. Yes, I need to add a pre-formatted text, pre, and what I want to put in between this is, and I think this should be within a paragraph. Yeah, it's a paragraph. You have pre-formatted text, and I want to put a little C program to say hello world. Alright, here we go. Return 0, printf hello world. That's all. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, you see it already has the spaces. If I don't put it here, I think it should. Yep. Can I go even if you like? If I take it more, will it go more to the side? Yes, sir. Okay, so the moment that I put it here, so maybe I can just put this thing over here and over here and everything. Yeah. Yes, nice. Okay, that is a pre-formatted text. Figures. See, I can code background color red and all. I can change the figure. Organizing page okay, sections and articles. Okay, HTML5 support in Internet Explorer. Okay, I was here. Organizing page content. I hope it is recording right. Great. Organizing page content. So far, the elements we've covered handle very specific tidbits of content. A paragraph. We have a paragraph. I think I knew it. So far the elements we've covered handle very specific tidbits of content, a paragraph, a heading, a figure, and so on. Prior to HTML5, there was no way to group these bits into larger parts other than wrapping them in a generic division div. Okay, this is a generic division element. I'll go about div in more detail later. HTML later. HTML5 introduced new elements that give a semantic meaning to section. Okay, semantic, not syntactic. Semantic meaning to sections of a typical web page. I feel like should just make it to readable. Yeah. Easy on the eyes. Semantic, including sections, articles, navigation, tangentially related content aside. Okay, aside. Navigation, nav, header. Okay, I can navigate it. Okay, header and footer navigation. I feel like now I'm beginning to get it. But I had put in header and footer. This is a navigation. Previous and next navigation tab. Though I don't copyright. Okay, update. No idea what that is. Article content starts here. Right. Okay. Then site headers and footers. The new element names are based on a Google study that looked. Curiously, the spec lists the old address element as a section as well, so we'll look at that one here too. The element discussed in this section are well supported by current desktop and mobile browsers, but there is a snag with Internet Explorer version 8. What is the snag? Most browsers today support the new HTML5 semantic elements, and for those that don't, creating a style sheet rule that tells browser to format each one as a block level element is all that is needed to make them behave correctly. Unfortunately, that fix won't work on Internet Explorer versions 8 and earlier. Not only do not recognize elements, they also ignore any styles applied to them. The solution is to use JavaScript to create each element so I know that it exists and will allow nesting and styling. Here's what a JavaScript command creating the section element looks like. Fortunately, I'm sharp. I'm over here. Oh, dude, okay. HTML5 elements are for IE. So stupid, it is called HTML5 Shiv or Shim, and it lives on a Google Run server. Okay, I don't think it is necessary to me. Right, sections and articles. Thematic group of content, self-contained, reusable composition. I don't get it. Okay, sections and articles. Long documents are easier to use when they are divided into smaller parts. For example, books are divided into chapters and newspapers have sections. For local news, right, sections. Thematic group of content, एक ही theme के, sports, comics and so on. To divide long web documents into thematic contents, use the aptly named section element. Sections typically have a heading. Okay. Sections typically have a heading inside the section element. And have I used a section? I did not use a section here. Update. Where did I get the copyright from? Okay, here, copy. Yeah, small copyright. Inside the section element and any other content that has a meaningful reason to be grouped together. The section element has a broad range of uses, from dividing a whole page into major sections or identifying thematic section within a single article. Okay, within a single article. In the following example, a document with information about typography resources has been divided into two sections based on resource type. Okay, so how can I add sections? Let's see. Okay, let's start with a section here, and I'll call, how do we apply a section h1. Okay, it is a heading of its own and the content. All right, so section, then I'll go h2 heading. h2 heading, paragraph heading, hello world MC, right? Then I will the section, and then I can create another section, and I can go issue hello world in Python. Pre no, let me see how it looks up till now, just for fun. Okay, hello world in C. Okay, it is to the left, and hello world in Python, and I'll copy pre print hello world. पहले प्री ख़त्म करना, फिर उसके बाद इसको ख़त्म करना. Pre, right. Okay. Printf hello world, right. Then section, right, section. Okay, the HTML5 spec recommends that if the purpose of grouping the element is simply to provide a hook for styling, use the general div instead. Okay, the spec recommends that if purpose of grouping the element is simply to provide a hook for styling, right, if you just want to style, then use a general div instead. Okay, then we move on to the article. Use the article element for self-contained works that could stand alone or be reused in a different context, such as a syndication. I don't understand what is a syndication. The transfer of something for control or management by a group of individuals. Okay, the act of selling something. All right. It is useful for magazine or newspaper articles, blog posts, comments, or the items that could be extracted for external use. Okay, you can think of it as a specialized section element that answers the question, could this appear on another site? Right, that is a section. So when I put the article, where did I put the article? Yeah, syntactically I don't need this. It was just didn't need it that. Article content starts here. Oh, but I see that article content starts here, so it should be put in article. Okay, then we move on to make things interesting. A long article could be broken into a number of sections. Right, great. Then conversely, a section in a web document might be comprised of a number of articles. Okay, so the section and article elements are easily confused, particularly because it is possible to nest one in another and vice versa. Keep in mind that if the content is self-contained and could appear outside the current context, it is best marked up as an article. Okay, sectioning elements. Another thing that section and article have in common under the hood is that both are what HTML5 calls a sectioning element. When a browser runs across a sectioning element in the document, it creates a new item in the document's outline automatically. In prior HTML5 versions, only headings h1 and h2 etc. triggered new outline items. The new nav, primary navigation, and aside for sidebar-like information are also sectioning elements. Okay. Then in the new HTML5 outlining system, a sectioning element may have its own internal heading hierarchy starting with h1 regardless of its position in the document that contains it. Okay, in the new a sectioning element may have its own internal heading hierarchy starting with h1. Okay, that makes it possible to take an article element with its internal outline, place it in another document flow. Alright, and know that it won't break the host's document outline. That is great. The goal of the new outlining algorithm is to make the markup meet the needs of content use and reuse on the modern web. As of writing, no browsers support HTML5 outlining systems, so to make your documents accessible and logically structured for all users, it is safest to use headings in descending numerical order, even within sectioning element. Okay, right. Okay, aside. Aside. Now we are on to aside. What is aside? The aside element identifies content that is related but tangential to the surrounding content. Okay, I feel like header and footer is aside navigation. Header and footer. I came straight to here, right? Addresses. Okay. How long has it been? 20 minutes. Okay, aside. Now the aside element identifies content that is related but tangential to the surrounding element content. In print, its equivalent is a sidebar, but they couldn't call the element sidebar because putting something on the side is a presentational description, not semantic. Nonetheless, a sidebar is a good mental model for using the aside element. Aside can be used to pull quotes, background information, list of links, callouts, or anything associated with but not crucial to a document. Okay, in the example, as aside element is used for a list of links related to aside. Okay, I want to see aside in action, so I am going to put some aside element here. Aside. We put href a. Sorry. A used to be what? What was A? I cannot remember. Hold up. There used to be A. What was A? What was A? What was A? A was. Ah, it was a, yeah, I feel like you must have seen it in the book somewhere. A attribute, empty element. A was an hyperlink. Hyperlink. Yes, A was a hyperlink. A tag. Element. Anchor element. Creates a hyperlink. Anchor. Okay. Anchor element. It creates a hyperlink. Right. Okay. So, um, aside href is nothing, and href nothing. Aside, so where is aside? Could I get aside? Where is aside and how do I use a aside? वही तो बहुत आगे आ गया मैं. Six, no, 5 पे हूँ मैं, 5 पे. Generic division addresses, हाँ. Aside each. Okay, let's try and paste it over here. Paste it in this body. Aside. Okay. So mine would have worked. Just, but I don't think it is to the aside. Typekit. Web font resources. Google Fonts. Okay. But the side element has no default rendering, so you will need to make it as a block element and adjust its appearance and layout with style. Okay, that's why it didn't show much. Navigation. Primary navigation links. The new nav element gives developers a semantic way to identify navigation for a site. Okay, 1 to 3 pages earlier in this chapter, we saw an unordered list that might be used as the top level navigation for a font catalog site. Wrapping it in a navigation. Okay, not all list of links should be wrapped in nav tags, however. Wrapping the spec makes it clear that it should be used for links that provide primary navigation around a site or a lengthy section of article. Okay, navigation. The nav element may be especially helpful from an accessibility perspective. Once screen readers and other devices become HTML5 compatible, users can easily get to or skip navigation section without a lot of hunting around. Right. Okay. Header and footer. I feel like I should close it, make a new document. web.html. Open it up. Doc type HTML. Feel like with HTML in caps or no, that is okay. HTML. Then we start with the HTML tag. HTML. Then we start with the head. Then we move on to the title or meta कह सकते I always meta set equals to UTF-8. Then title chapter 5. Then we bring in the body, and within the body I don't know what I want to do in the body. I don't want to do anything right now, but chapter 5, right? Okay, just for fun. Learning HTML. Should the headings be in a paragraph? No, because heading is different than a paragraph. So various features of the HTML5. Which one? So I feel like should this be quoted somewhere? No, so I can just put it in a section wherein I can start a heading. आ गया मैं. Alrighty, we continue here. Okay, issue. Now I want to. What are the various elements I had learned about? Okay, I forgot so early. Great. Aside we have section articles. Section and articles. Okay, section articles aside. Then I had navigation. Okay, so I'll start with sections and articles. H2. I'll start a paragraph where these are some of sectioning elements which are used to differentiate a whole group of thematic elements, thematic data, or self-contained data. Self-contained data. Can I put a horizontal rule? No, don't look good. Okay, I feel like this should be here. Then I feel like this should be italicized. schematic data, self-contained data. That's how it looks now. Self-contained data और की जगह and effectively. Okay, section के बाद फिर अपने पास आता है aside. This element is equivalent of a sidebar containing its own heading. Site H3. Let's see. H3. One, two. Structure. Things that is not crucial to the document. Like a list of resources, and I can put a unordered list. Some other important data. The site is to issue nav. Sections and articles assigned for this element. This element is equivalent to a sidebar and contains its own heading structure. Default rendering looks style sheet. Right. Right, some aside nav. Nav, yeah. Navigation. What is navigation? Okay. Navigating for a site, primary navigation links. Okay. Right, we can put a heading. Plus element to the way of providing navigation links. So see, these are the things. If I go for so MKVK, okay, and I try to search something. Let's say what can I search for? Okay, I'll search for yeah, genres. There. So you see these things. These are tagged navigation because they help to navigate across the borderlands. Okay. Navigation links for easy for easily navigating around the web page. Um, hmm. First, second. Okay. Okay, now we move on to headers and footers. Because web authors, because web authors, because web authors have been labeling header and footer sections in their documents for years, it was kind of a no-brainer that full-fledged header and footer elements would come in handy. Let's start with headers. Okay, headers are introductory material for page, section, or article. Okay, section or an article. Headers. The header element is used for introductory material that typically appears at the beginning of a web page or at the top of a section or an article. There is no specified list of what a header must or should contain. Anything that makes sense as an introduction to a page or a section is acceptable. In the following example, the document header includes a logo image, the site title, and navigation. Okay. Heading group, each group. When used in an individual article, the header might include the article title, author, and the publication date. Okay. More about WOF, Jennifer. Yeah. Header. Footer. The footer element is used to indicate the type of information that typically comes at the end of a page or an article, such as its author, copyright information related documents on navigation. Right. Then the footer elements may apply to the entire document or it could be associated with a particular section. If the footer is contained directly within the body element, either before or after all the body, then it applies to the entire page application. if it's contained sectioning element, or it is parsed as the footer. Okay. So it will just stay for that element exactly. Note Note that although it is called footer, there is no requirement that it come last in the document or sectioning elements. Alright. It could also appear. Nice. Bruh. In this example, you can also add headers and footers to sectioning root element, body, block quote, detail, figure, TD, and okay. Time field set and what was here. Okay. Neither header nor footer element are permitted to contain nested. Alright. Well, why would one nest it? But okay. In the simple example, we see the typical copyright. Okay, then we have a navigation list. In this simple example, we see the typical information listed at the bottom of an article or blog post marked up as a footer. Article, header, H1, more about Fox by Jennifer Robbins. Okay, so I actually then we have H2. Right, okay. So as the name suggests, I should put a header. I could make another section. Section or an article. Section. Then I provide a header. H3. Header, right? These are all the things that could be included in a header. It could contain page content. Okay. Start with this section. Document header include the document header include navigation footer. ओके आर्टिकल के अंदर क्या है ना आर्टिकल और सेक्शन के अंदर रखते हैं हेडर और फुटर को सो लर्निंग then I put by Shivang Kumar Singh. And how do you put a date and time date time equals to pub date. What is pub date? What is pub date in date time date time. Okay. Date time. Pub date attribute is a boolean attribute. If specified, it indicates that the date and time given by the element in the publication date and time of the nearest Insta article element. Yeah. The publication date was an attribute. It if specified boolean attribute. Okay. The first thing is that it is a boolean attribute. If specified, it indicates that the date and time given by the element is the publication date and time of the nearest ancestor article element, or if the element has no ancestor of the document as a whole. Okay, still didn't get anything. Not gonna waste my time. Not going to waste my time. Time, date, time, pub date. Okay, then I provide pub date, November 11, time and paragraph. Okay, so how do I put? I start with the time, then I go date time equals to month 02 date and year. Then I put pub date, don't know why. Then I put 14th February 2025. Then I close the time and the paragraph. That's all. February 2025. Time, date, time, update. Okay. Let's put a comma here. Great, as the name suggests. I feel like it should be a part, as the name suggests. These elements are used to display the introductory or what does it do? A header, material for page, footer, and footer, material, the footer for the page. Okay. Footer for the page. Then we can start a footer. This will contain some navigation. Right, what does footer contain? Right, navigation links. Header is the navigation link. The footer section, right? Section near the beginning. Okay, it can appear at the beginning, but it should make sense if it makes semantic sense. Right. Okay, addresses. Address. Last and least is the address element that is used to create an area for contact information, the author or maintainer of the document. Okay, it is generally placed at the end of the document or in the section or article within a document. An address would be right at home in a footer element. Right. Okay. It is important to note that the address element should not be used for any old address on a page, such as mailing addresses. It is intended specifically for other contact information. Yeah. Although that could potentially be a mailing address. Right. Following is an example of its intended use. Address contributed by, yeah, okay, Jennifer Robbins and O'Reilly Media. Right. 10 मिनट बहुत होते हैं भाई. Okay, so let's put an address. I'll go written by a sheriff. How can I guide it to I'll just guide it to google.com. google.com. Shravan Kumar Singh. Let me see. W dot. Ooh, I closed it. Couldn't find the address. Footer slash bro. Okay, HTTP. What is the Google address? .uk. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's how you go to with HTTPS. Okay, this field is especially for okay, so this field is strictly restricted for providing the address of the author. Nice. Okay, then what we have, the HTML parts are markup for links. We'll get to those in chapter addressing links, right? Note, you'll get a chance to try out the section element in 5.3 at the end of this chapter. Nice. Okay. The inline element roundup. Now that we have identified the larger chunks of content, we can provide semantic meaning to phrases within the chunk using what HTML5 calls text level semantic elements. On the street, you are likely to hear them called inline elements because they display in the flow of text or by default and do not cause any line breaks. Okay, that's also how they were referred to in HTML versions prior to HTML5. Right, text level inline element. हाँ ठीक है, because they do not break. Despite all the types of information you could add to a document, there are only a couple dozen text level semantic elements in HTML5. ये हो गया anchor और hypertext link, abbreviation, bold indicates text that may have directional requirement, bidirectional override, line break, citation, code computer code sample, data Okay, what's with the time? Oh, data. What only? Machine readable equivalent dates, time, weights, and other measurable values. Okay, deleted text indicates an edit made to a document. The defining instance or first occurrence of a term, emphasize text, alternative voice italic, inserted text, okay, indicates an insertion in a document, or deletion, text entered by user for technical documents. Keyboard mark, contextually relevant text, short inline quotation. Ruby provides annotation. Ruby RTRP provides annotation or pronunciation guides under East Asian typography and ideographs. As incorrect text. Okay, strike through. Ooh, I wanna try that. Let me put a strike through on this. Alright, strike through. And then we have SAMP. Okay, sample output from programs. Small print such as copyright or legal notice displayed in a smaller type size span. Generic phrase content, strong content of strong importance. Subscript, superscript, time machine readable, time data. You underlined a variable or program argument for technical documents, and word break. Okay, and what does it say over here? Over here, the inline elements backstory. Many of the inline elements that have been around since the dawn of the web were introduced to change the visual formatting of text selection due to the lack of a style sheet system. If you wanted bolded text, you marked it as B. Italics use the I element. In fact, there was a font element used solely to change the font color and size of the text. Not surprisingly, HTML5 kicked the purely presentational font element to the curb. However, many of the old school presentational inline elements, for example U for underline and S for strike through, have been kept in HTML5 and given new semantic definition. B is now for keywords and S for inaccurate text. Okay, some inline elements are purely semantic, such as abbreviation or time, and don't have default renderings. For these, you'll need to use CSS rules if you want to change the way they are displayed. In the element description in this section, I'll provide both definition. Right. Okay. Obsolete HTML 4.01 text elements. Should I know? Directory list replaced by another list. Acronym, okay, indicates an acronym. Instead, applet. That's the job. Applet, base font, establish default font, is index font directory, strike through. Okay, emphasized text. Use the EM element to indicate which part of a sentence should be stressed or emphasized. The placement of EM elements affects how a sentence meaning is interpreted. Consider the following. Okay, the first, who is very smart? Matt is very smart. Is very smart. Very. Matt is very smart. Emphasized text. EM elements nearly always displays in italics by default, but of course you can make them display any way you like with a style sheet. Screen readers may use a different tone of voice to convey stressed content, which is why you should use an EM element only when it makes sense, not to achieve a italic text. Okay, important text. We have strong. The strong element indicates that a word or phrase is important. In the following example, the strong element identifies a portion of instructions that requires extra attention. Okay, when checking out the hotel, drop the keys in the red box by the front desk. Okay, words, phrase that are important. Visual process typically displays strong text element in bold, By default, screen readers may use a distinct tone of voice for important content, so mark text as strong only when it makes sense, not just to make them text bold. Matt is very smart. Matt is very smart. When returning the card, drop the keys in the red box by the front desk. Okay, important text. The previously presentational strong, okay, emphasized aim and strong. The previously presentational elements that are sticking around in HTML5 with fancy new semantic definitions. Ooh, we're done. कितना रहता है पर रुक जा shortcut, yep. Okay, we are officially done.